Hello there, everyone. This is me, No Name 17 Spore, finding out what happens when you don't get enough sleep and are on a absolutely horrible sleep schedule, where it is currently 3:12 p.m. and you're really tired and about to go to sleep because you haven't gotten any, um, and you haven't done a recording in a while because your headset kind of. Your headset mic kind of fell off, and although the cable is still attached, you can't actually like stick it back in. So you have to get a whole new headset, and you went with a wireless setup. So the audio quality is a little worse, and now you're putting all your viewers through torture and suffering because of that. There's also something with no secondaries and Britain and that stuff. Yeah, that's the situation right now. I'm tired. I need to get something out. I've been trying to get something out today. I just haven't had an opportunity. Had to do some setup for this episode, as you'll see, even if it is complete garbage. And yeah, so we just got done with a war with Germany, and safe to say it was a victory. And I have something kind of quickly prepared for for what to show. So here is a nice little image of uh, of the losses we took. So okay, we took some destroyer losses, but in terms of actual major losses, in battleships, battle cruisers, those sorts of things, capital ships and cruisers, basically, we only had three. That would be so we had Barfleur, which was off screen torpedoed by a submarine. Just outside a battle, random event happened, torpedoed and sunk by a submarine. We don't exactly have any torpedo protection on that ship or on any ship because our scientists are morons and don't think that torpedoes are a threat. Yeah. Flora got mined, off screen as well. And the biggest loss of the war was HMS Tiger, which what happened there was an 8-inch high explosive shell from an armored cruiser detonated on on her turret top armor, one of the various turrets, and that got through and flash fired the turret, instantly sinking the ship. Um, that is a very important thing to keep in mind. I will be discussing that as this goes on. Now, the other thing we can do is we can start taking a look at enemy losses. So this is the start of the enemy losses. The Right here we have four armored cruisers: Scharnhorst, Hansa, Prince Adalbert, and Gneisenau. I did kind of put these in order. And if you want to see something, I actually have a whole Google spreadsheet for this. You can see the war right here, Anglo-German War Round 2, or as I'm calling it here, the Anglo-German Continuation War, as this is, kind of a continuation war of the this one where they funded the Wei Highway rebellion, which the rebellion succeeded, but like Germany lost a bunch of their colonies anyway. So, and some of these names aren't like properly done yet. I need to name the convoy here. But for example, you know, first battle here, this is one where Tigers lost, and we managed to get Scharnhorst here, right? Scharnhorst? Um, yeah, Scharnhorst is sunk. Then, what is it? We did have the battle where I did the time warp, or the time acceleration, weird time stuff. Time manipulation, that was what I called it. Uh, okay, so I think it was this battle where we had a success. Bombardment of Great Yarmouth, or Yarmouth. Um, I butchered it. I'm tired. This was one where we managed to catch Hansa and Prince Adalbert and, cripple them and sink them, with the battlecruiser force. Uh, and then Revenge winds up sinking Gneisenau. And next one, so that would be a Should be sinking of now. I screwed that up apparently. Um, yeah, that was the battle where one of our heavy cruisers, the ones with the mini 10-inch guns, managed to get a good good salvo or good hunting and got the cruiser. So that's good. If we go to the next set of losses, we have Thetis, Berlin, Moltke, and Geffion. So 3 light cruisers and a battle cruiser. And if we go here, so we get Thetis, first of all, in the 4th Hartlepool raid. Berlin, is this in this battle? Oh yeah, yeah, that's Moltke. Moltke being sunk is there. Um, and then Berlin and Geffion are after that, so I should have put those two down below. Um, yeah, Battle of St. Bride's Bay and Bude Bay. So that's one where Moltke gets trapped and sunk, and then we have this engagement right here where Berlin and Geffion are each sunk. After that, we have the losses of Ariadne, Medusa, and Hamburg. And if we're looking at the battle result, 5th Hartlepool raid, that's where we get Hamburg. The next battle, Medusa is actually sunk by one of our submarines while trying to get into port. And then after that, I believe we have, is it this battle? Oh wait, no. Ariadne is sunk here. I'm also so sorry if I accidentally tapped the mic. It does make some sound. And yeah, I'm still getting used to the headset. So yeah, that's where Ariadne is sunk, and then of course we check down where the other two were, Medusa and Hamburg. I should put them in a different order. After that, um, we have the 3 losses in the 3rd battle of Heligoland Bight, where our battle cruisers initially tried to sink the enemy battle cruisers, and it just didn't go particularly well. Um, we just weren't able to really push on them. But then the Germans sent their battleships out, largely unescorted, and my battle cruisers went, ooh, free kills. That's 2 pretty bad dreadnoughts and a pre-dread, and my battle cruisers had the advantage, had the escort advantage too, and they just kind of, went down there and murked all 3 of them. And then to finish out the war, Neptune. Our merchant cruiser Neptune sunk by the AV Apollo, our float plane carrier, converted Phoebe class cruiser. And then that was the end of the war, and we got reparations from it. So, I am taking a look at the lessons which we need to learn. First lesson, first primarily important lesson. 3 inches of turret top armor is not enough for battle cruisers and battleships. Capital ships need heavier turret armor, probably 5 inches plus if I want something that is vaguely future-proof. I think it's even recommended to go like 7.5 inches, but it's early. It's late 1915. It's probably better to it might not be worthwhile going all the way to 7.5 inches to see the heaviest of bombs later on, but 5 inches is probably at this point minimum if 8-inch high explosive is going through 3 inches. The other important thing is that I had actually focused my production way too much on battleships prior to the war. And ultimately, Germany is in a situation where they have a significant number of battle cruisers, already built. I mean, okay, so they didn't have Hindenburg and they didn't have Derflinger at the start. But they had Moltke, Goben, von der Ten, Moltke, Lutzow, and Seydlitz. So they had 5 battle cruisers at the start. I had 4. I was down, basically down a battlecruiser, even though I had a quality advantage with, Tiger and Lion being really good ships, and then, I mean, the Indomitables not being great, but also not being terrible. They're not the worst of ships. But, one lucky shot on Tiger, and suddenly that advantage is gone. I've got one really good battle cruiser, two okay battle cruisers, versus five, which, don't have as heavy a guns, but did seem to be pretty tanky. Even if, well, maybe not as much like Von der Ten and Go. I kind of thought I was going to get Von der Tan at some point, but it just did not happen. Uh, so yeah, battle cruisers, we had a major weakness there. If we look at all in the world, I mean, we have a lesser amount of battle cruisers. We actually have the second least battle cruiser tonnage right now. And in terms of battle cruiser building tonnage, we do have the least. Um, that is concerning. We have a lot of battleships. We focused very heavily on having a proper battle line, but we've not gotten battle cruisers. We've not gotten enough battle cruisers. We need more battle cruisers, and battleships really did not play a significant role in this war, as much as they should have. And the other important lesson is that faster CAs are needed. And if you can give me a moment here, there we go. We had multiple instances. I mean, we had one instance where our CA did manage to hunt and successfully intercept another CA. But we had another instance where, we had two armored cruisers try to chase down a German raiding armored cruiser and just failed to catch her. Yeah, basically we're needing faster ships. That's what it is coming down to at this point. Primarily armored, armored cruisers, heavy cruisers, and eventually nations are going to start building heavy cruisers again pretty soon. Nobody's building any right now. That is probably going to change once we get to the 20s, and I need to be prepared for that because that is legitimately something I'm gonna have to deal with. And I'm thinking about building like excessively large, excessively heavy cruisers. The other thought is trying to convert some of the existing heavy cruisers I have. In this case, um, I've kind of had this thought for a while. So definitely the diadems. Diadems are definitely slated for that conversion at some point. They will probably be sped up to 26 knots and aiming for a Cleveland battery sort of layout. I don't think we have the machinery to do that quite yet. I mean, yeah, we don't have the machinery tech to do that yet, but hopefully in the 20s or 30s we will. Um, but the primary candidates for that, I was considering the Benbows, the Andromedas, and the Europas, and I think I discussed this before. Problem is, I was looking at it, and a Benbow I can only get up to 25 knots. Andromeda or Europa I can get to 26. You can go 5 knots above the original speed in the engine rebuild. So the Benbows would be slower, and they actually don't have as much like mass dedicated to their turrets as an Andromeda. Um, Now the one good thing with the Benbows is they have a little bit heavier of armor than an Andromeda, or actually not that much over a Europa. Um, and they aren't all that much larger, so they're not ships super worth trying to rebuild into that. It is of more like okay, the rebuild in itself is questionable. From the start, this rebuild is questionable. The rebuilds I want to do are questionable, and I don't even have the tech right now to do them. The Benbows are the worst ships for those rebuilds, and the other thought is, CVLs. I would want to have CVLs, but, I have so many Andromedas and Europas that even once I have expended the basically even after even if I need more conversions past the camper downs, I'm not gonna be able to refit all of the Andromedas and Europas into you know these sorts of ships. It's just not it's just not going to happen. There's 11 ships. I'm not going to build 11 of a very questionable CA design. Um, I am intending on getting one of these ships in soon to try to you know basically as an experiment, as a first test bed for the concept. But I don't need all 11 of them to be converted. Probably better to invest those funds in new CAs. I will also have to kind of check how things are. Kind of check how the monetary situation looks out. I think if I was to do it all in one refit, which is impossible, it'd have to be multiple refits to actually get this. The cost estimation for converting one of these into what is effectively a as well armed as Cleveland or Brooklyn. I guess technically I'd be talking more like a town or a Brooklyn. Um, except with much heavier armor, where you have those triple 6-inch guns, capable of firing each broadside. Converting them into that layout and giving them 26 knots of speed is about 50,000. Whereas buying a new CA with 7 inches of belt armor, which is heavier than these, capable of like 28, 29-ish knots, is 70,000. And I suspect that, the Andromeda Europa stuff, converting these might be more expensive than 50,000. And I'm getting a budget of the other ship. Now, I will be honest, large battery 6-inch guns will absolutely wreck stuff. Do not underestimate them. Those 10-inch guns, they're good, they're going to have good armor piercing, but they are not going to have the rate of fire of the 6-inch guns. So, it is possible that you could argue that, these builds are more cost effective, but, if you downsize that CA to, that new build CA to a 6-inch armed CA, that advantage might be gone. So I'll have to investigate that. And plus that's more modern armor. Um, so I'll have to investigate that. But the thing is, the Benbows are just worse for this role. And this was what I was discussing before. And I think the general consensus right now is I scrap the Benbows. Just all 10 of the Benbows gone. All to the scrapyard. Diadems need to stay in the Mediterranean. They should get the conversion because they are colonial ships, and I probably don't want to build new colonial ships. And modernizing 2 older colonial ships will probably help me out. Camper Downs are a perfect CVL conversion fodder, and then the Andromedas and Europas. I mean, they're a little faster than the Benbows. Only 1 knot. Um, but they're a bit better suited for either the CVL conversion or the CA conversions I want to do. The other thought for faster CAs, as I was discussing, is the King Alfreds and Royal Oaks. I have 2 of these each. King Alfred's would be able to hit 27 knots, the Royal Oaks 28 knots with a rebuild and oil firing. And that is very, very, very tempting. Um, I'm not necessarily sure I'm going to do that right now. I'd have to check how fast I can get them. And if I was to do it, it would probably be something where I'd have one heavy cruiser in a major rebuild at a time. So, I'd probably go like King Alfred, then Hogue, then Royal Oak, then Revenge. And it'd probably all be on their own separate, refit designations at that point. So that would get a little bit more complicated. Uh, just to kind of take advantage of the new tech increases. Or, I build new build CAs, although I think it is more important to new build battle cruisers right now, and then get a steady CA trickle later down the line. And if we go to the peacetime Navy plan. So, this is the vague plan I came up with. For ship management, mothball and reserve the Navy to save money. Of course, We're nearly 11,000 in the red. These ships, you know, I I mean that's my standard procedure. Mothball reserve. As much of the Navy as I can get with, except for what's needed on colonial duty. Uh, that's just standard for me. Next thing on the itinerary: scrap the Benbows. The Benbows are not needed in service anymore. They're gonna get removed. And I was discussing that. Next on the itinerary, scrap most of the Phoebe-class cruisers. Now, the Phoebe-class cruisers have been being converted into AVs, as, Apollo here has shown, as well as Andromache and Iphigenia. Um, I am going to convert 3 more of them. So in this case, yes, I'm sorry, Terpsichore is going away. Sirius is going to be converted. Naiad was voted on. Naiad was the vote winner. Naiad's going to be converted. Naiad's going to be converted first. Um, Naiad will probably be followed. I mean, Scylla was the runner-up. Um, and then Sirius will go in. Maybe I'll kind of keep Terpsichore around just if I want an additional conversion. But the rest of the Phoebe class is going to be scrapped. And there's a decision I'm going to need to make on the Pearl class cruisers. They are a little bit stronger. I might keep them around for one more war, but there is a possible decision I can make on them, and you might see that below. So, the production plan. Step 1. Finish finish the existing ship. Actually, I should turn on my display capture here just to show the cruisers, because I was talking about them and then didn't have it on. So Sirius is getting saved, Naiad's getting saved, Scylla's getting saved, Terpsichore is probably getting saved. Everything else is getting scraps. That would be Phoebe, Peak, Rainbow, Sappho, and Alice. So that would be these 5 ships are going to be scrapped, as unneeded. So finish existing ships under construction. That is pretty obvious right now. We have the battlecruiser Leopard, 8 months away. We have 4 light cruisers under construction. All of these are anywhere from 8 to 10 months away. We have 2 Phoebe-class cruisers in refit to seaplane tenders. That would be Andromache and Iphigenia, as I talked about earlier. We have 8 Ness-class destroyers building. Just to kind of buff out the destroyer force somewhat. These are pretty good destroyers. Some of them are 5 to 6 months away. The next set is 9 months away, and then we have 6 corvettes building, and these are basically just these are minesweepers. I probably do want like a mine laying corvette at some point. And if we check the submarines, we also have a set of those building. I assume no coastal fortifications. Um, but yeah, these decent sets of stuff under construction right now. There's a reason we're spending a lot of money at the moment on construction, but have these finish up. See if I can get the money to get 2 battlecruisers in construction at all times. And that's going to be something I want to keep up for a little bit. At least 2. If I could get 3, that would be good. But if I could just kind of have 2 continuously in production, that would be what I want. And the newer design of battlecruiser would probably be a something a little bit more efficient than Leopard. Much improved. Leopard is, I mean, she's 33,000 tons. We probably should be moving up the, we did complete the Orion class battleships at 41,700 tons. So really, we should be considering battlecruisers for, technically for the Orions, but to match something a little bigger than the Orions. But, I probably should be aiming for battlecruisers in the 40,000 ton range. Something improved on Leopard. Probably going to aim for 16-inch guns. I'll check my gun quality real quickly. Actually, I can do that right now. Ooh. Okay. So we could either go with a battlecruiser armed with 14-inch guns. In this case, I would probably arm it with 9 to 12 rifles, or we could go with one armed with 17-inch guns. At which point I would probably wind up choosing, uh, 6 to 8 rifles. 6 to 8 16-inch or 17-inch rifles, or we go with, like 9 to 12 14-inch rifles. Also good to know our 10-inch guns are Q1. That will be important for cruiser rebuilds. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at for battle cruisers. So next thing is second focus after the battle cruisers is fast light cruisers. Um, so in terms of this, there's really three choices. First of all is what we're doing. Basically, the Minervas and the Venuses. The Venuses are technically a little smaller than the Minervas, but you can kind of see the Venuses have the extra gun, the Minervas have the extra knot of speed, and the Venuses are slightly smaller. Do the Minervas have a little bit more armor? Maybe. I'd have to check that. I think it is just that extra knot of speed, which is making the Minervas much more expensive. These are basically, designs of the previous class battlecruiser, the Brilliant class, of which we unfortunately lost one. So yeah, we are. So one thought is to basically just continue on this design lineage, have max size or near max size light cruisers, armed with a bunch of 6-inch guns, get as many to a broadside as possible. Minerva's getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to a broadside, and a Venus would be getting 9 to a broadside. And then these are actually good ships for rebuilds later on as well. So that's thought one. Thought two is that I actually wind up or actually thought two is that I build smaller light cruisers. In this case, if we look back at the design lineage, these would probably be more like the older Spartan class or the Charybdis class. Something more along these lines. Although probably even a little smaller than those. Probably aiming for like a 4,000, 5,000 ton design. Something capable of 28 knots roughly, rather than the 29 or 30 that the newer ones are getting. And it's still having a lot of 6-inch guns, but just more lightly built. Something to bring out the fleet more, because the Phoebes are basically going to be gone. The Pearls aren't really all that great. I'll make a decision on them. And that might even involve scrapping them now. And past that, we have like 10 modern light cruisers in service. 3 of them are only 24 knot capable, so they're not particularly good at that. And we have another 4 in construction. So we do need to keep light cruisers in construction, as they do kind of act as fleet scouts. The third thought is a rebuild of the Pearl design. Now, the Pearls are pretty well armed. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 6-inch guns to a broadside. From an armament standpoint, these are not bad ships. They are protected cruisers, however. But, they're capable of 22 knots. And if we do a machinery rebuild, that can hypothetically go up to 27. Hopefully with oil firing, that would also help. So if I need additional scout cruisers, it might be worth considering doing an engine rebuild on the Pearls and checking the cost of doing that versus checking the cost of getting like a new 27 or 28 knot light cruiser. Because that could buff out my fleet of fast cruisers for potentially a bargain and allow me to spend more in the battle cruisers. If I kind of keep the Pearls moving in and out of that. So those are possibilities to be invested. So complete the AV refit program. So Naiad, Scylla, and Sirius. Oh my god, I misspelled Sirius. Sirius, not Cirrus. I think I might also throw Terpsichore into that because I kind of like that ship. She did some combat stuff too. Or she's an additional backup if we have some issues with the Comus class cruisers. or possibly something I can send on a foreign station, which is more expendable. Um, and it would be cheaper to send a Phoebe on a foreign station than a Pearl, for example. The other possibility was converting a couple Pearls into AVs too. I mean, Naiad, I think I am pretty set on Naiad, Skill, and Sirius all becoming AVs right now. But, I might consider it for some of the Pearls. So that's, fourth priority, keep the AV program going. Fifth priority, keep a continuous line of destroyers and subs coming. They don't really cost all that much. 4 destroyers in production and maybe 2 subs in production continuously would be my goal. Just something to keep the fleets existing, even if it's not necessarily something where I'm like investing super heavily into them. That being said, I do definitely need more destroyers. If we're going by modern destroyers, I would say all the 900 tonners and above are good. We have 34 right now. Um, 34 destroyers well suited for active fleet roles, and the rest not. But of course, we are working on more. We have 8 in production. Once the first set of nests is complete, I probably won't reinvest, but when the second set does, I probably will put that money back into getting more destroyers. And of course, as the subs complete, more of those funds will go into other ships, but I'll still try to keep a little bit in the subs. And, Corvettes, once those complete, I'm probably not going to be prioritizing Corvettes that much. So, sixth priority is what I was discussing with the CAs, or the armored cruisers, heavy cruisers. Either I get new, fast 12 times 10-inch armored cruisers, or engine rebuilds to the King Alfred and Royal Oak. This is not an immediate priority. This is for something later during the peacetime. I generally expect my peace times to last maybe 3 to 5 years. Like, I guess 2 to 5 years. Um, but this is something which I would be considering probably around like 1919 to 1925-ish. Um, Seventh priority is an experimental Andromeda / Europa rebuild, as I discussed, basically converting them into a Cleveland or Brooklyn layout capable of 26 knots. I at least want to do one as an experiment. Um, but yeah, we'll have to see on how that works. And then the eighth possible thing is CVL rebuilds when the tech unlocks. And I put that at the bottom because I don't know when that tech's going to unlock. But when that tech unlocks, that is going to be something we need to do. And that will definitely be something where, the first ships to go in for that are definitely going to be the camper downs. So that is what we're dealing with right now. And I just quickly wanted to take a look here. Heavier than air. Yeah, we don't have any results yet. So we will probably be able to get stuff. Oh, we have above water torpedo tubes on CLs, which could actually make Pearl refits, tempting. So I think the first thing is let's just start mothballing. So, and scrapping. So yeah, Benbows probably get scrapped. Actually, which Benbow has the most amount of battle stars? So Remilli's, Repulse, Redoubtable. Anson has the most battle stars. Yeah, Anson has the most battle stars. Okay. I'm probably going to scrap Anson. But, before I do that, I'm scrapping all of these ships first. So yeah, goodbye all of you. Part of me is like, I should have backed up the save file before this. Let me do that. Let me just do that. Play capture, I mean, actually I can just go to the extra screen. and leave you with this for the moment. I'm gonna quickly just go and back up the save file because this is like the first time I'm properly scrapping ships. It's probably a smart idea just to have the old save file around. Um, just because I want it. If I want to go back and take a look at anything, I can. Uh, oh god, I forget what save this is in. I'm gonna have to reboot the game real quickly. I haven't done anything in there, so it's fine. Okay, it is in slot 6, so copy that. And yeah, I should have done this beforehand, but being tired and preparing the other stuff. Actually, no, let me rename that. So it's not Britain Twitch, that is Britain YouTube. Folder. Okay, so and it is now saving. Let me just well, okay, actually, I can probably just switch back to this screen now. We can actually do stuff. I am 36 minutes into this episode and finally past the discussion period as okay, the file transferred. Cool. Alright, so now we can actually go through and scrap the ships which I was intending on scrapping. So that is... No, do not scrap an Andromeda right now. That would be all of the Benbows. I will make a decision on Anson in a moment. Alright, how much money did that save? Not a lot. um, yeah, we'll make a decision on Anson, just in case it's better suited for a full rebuild than an Andromeda. Um, but yeah, okay. So if I look at these, so you'd be mothballed, you guys would be on active fleet. Tonnage on foreign stations is fine. I think what I might just mothball all of these guys. And then reserve all of these guys. Although, I don't know. CA, here, I'm going to move these into the reserve fleet, and then I'm going to mothball some of the earlier dreadnoughts. As well as probably these guys. Alright, that has saved a good portion of money. Okay, so why do we have... So we do have some Pearl class cruisers active right now. Alright, so from this, so Scylla's getting saved. You guys are gone. Naiad's getting saved. Phoebe's going. So these 5 get scrapped right now. Let me go through the destroyers and mothball what I can. So that would be these guys, all mothballed. Some not in home area. Okay, yeah, we have a set of badgers in the Mediterranean. That might just be to like complete out that theater. But yeah, I'll leave them there. And you guys can all go to the reserve fleet. You guys should all be on mothball. Okay, money-wise, we're still down. We're not down that badly, and we have more cruisers that we can, mothball and reserve. So all these guys, mothball fleet for the moment. All of these, reserve fleet. Alright, so the budget, it's not entirely in balance, but it's close. We're already close to having it in balance. I'm not going to be able to immediately build anything. So, I'm going to take a look. Design ship. I need to open the design for a Minerva class cruiser. These are 35,000 to build. I will also take a look at the, similar tech Venus class, which is 31.5 thousand. So 35,000 and 31.5 thousand to build. Now, let's say I go in to the Pearl class cruiser and open design for rebuild. And we do a nice replace machinery, switch it to oil. So this rebuild is costs more than the ship itself. Oof. Oh, I see why. Oh, really? That increases it? Okay, yeah. Um, so rebuilding a Pearl class cruiser to go 26 knots would cost me 32,000. So I could do this for a 27 knot cruiser with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 gun broadside, or I could get a 9 gun broadside faster. A 9 gun broadside faster for the same cost with the Venus class, which is also more modernizable and bigger and has more up-to-date armor. What that has confirmed is that the Pearl class is absolutely fucked. Um, I will keep 2 around. I am making that decision right now. Pearl is gone. I think I will keep Indefatigable. I will scrap these ones. Yeah. Although part of me, no, I'll scrap them. And then either Latona or Melampus. I mean, Melampus has an elite crew. Indefatigable did a lot of stuff. I'll leave this around for now. So we have significantly downsized the older fleet. The remaining Phoebes are going to be converted. Maybe I'll have like one as a backup for the Comus class cruiser. Sybil should be mothballed too. And yeah. The Cambrians do need to go in for a rebuild. That will probably be in a few turns. So let's save. Let's go on to the next turn. USA is now advertising 18-inch guns. A lot of ships have now been scrapped. New planes enter service. We have a floatplane scout request going on. Andromash has finished her reconstruction. Superimposed X-mount on CL. That is excellent. So I'm just gonna mothball Andromash. Turian will go to the mothball fleet. And now we are positive. You have any ships on active which can be reserved? You can. We're in the black again. We're in the black. Barely. And then, Retribution will take another turn. To repair, I think Retribution is repaired now. I'm actually going to mothball these guys. These 3 older cruisers are going to get mothballed. I'm going to go one more turn. A lot of shooting. Early hydrophones. New scout plane prototypes are ready. Okay, so what do we have? What is important right now? Range for a scout and speed. What does this one have? Range and speed. Now, we are 4 months away from the completion of Leopard, which means that it takes 4 months for a ship design to complete. You can tell what I'm getting at. It is time to design the successor to Leopard. So, we don't have any torpedo defense yet, unfortunately. It is 1916. We've not yet discovered how to make torpedoes. I like the name Illustrious. Alright, so, we have thoughts. I think I'm going to get rid of the X turret and we are going to go. I guarantee it. We're going to have at least this. So if we go up to 17 inch, okay, let's do 40,000 ton ship on oil. There's some thought about reliability here. I probably do want a 12-inch belt. Can we do like all or nothing? I I will do all or nothing. I'm gonna stop designing that there. I just want to make sure we have it. Yes, we do have all or nothing. Okay, cool. So, get rid of the X turret. I need to be more efficient. 28 knots, oil, 12-inch belt, flat deck on top, turret top armor 5 inches. We gotta go 5-inch turret top. Director firing, of course. You know, we need that up to date. I'll get the conning tower armor up. It's like above the belt, and deck armor should probably be higher if we're going all or nothing. So, two decisions right now. Go 16-inch shells, we can go 17-inch. Although, if we're going 17-inch, I'm probably going to need to make the ship bigger, or alternatively, go down to this. I mean, that would be particularly deadly, but, you know, we have a battle cruiser. Can I get, like, can I buy with a larger belt? And okay. Because I honestly think that getting this would be good. No, change type and continue. It was 12.5 allowed? Yeah, okay, that's allowed. Um, a little bit heavy of armor. Um, what's our immunity zone against 17-inch guns? It's something, it exists. It's not something that's gonna be able to take a bunch of hits. Really. Um, maybe I do go with like a 12-inch. I don't know. I think we need more numbers right now. Given what the world has, I don't know though. I want I want whatever the best I can get for like 40,000 tons. I mean, we could go up to like 29 knots. I want that 12.5-inch belt. I'm gonna go 28 knots and then just decrease the mass a little bit. So we have some spare weight remaining. That can probably be invested later on in like air capacity and such. Um, but honestly, I think this looks okay. Let me look up the renowned class battlecruiser. Just to kind of get the top-down view right. You know, that's gonna be the closest thing to this thing historically. This is basically a renown with triple 14s instead of the 16s. So, I mean, she is gonna be fairly well protected. That's good. Hopefully that kind of helps, and then having the extra turret armor is also really gonna help with that. You know, just over invest in the turret armor. Um, I don't know how future-proof she'll be. I'm gonna get rid of some of these funnels. I need a top-down view of the Renown class on my other monitor. And I'm not gonna show this to you, but actually, this is an alternate history thing on Bitbucket. Okay, there we go. That's a nice top-down drawing. I don't know what's rubbing up against my headset right now, but something is. It's producing noise. I have no idea how. Um, I'm sorry to have like angered everyone. All right, so nouns actually do have a step down, but they're a little weird about it. It looks like. Okay, I kind of see what I need to do. So actually, let's get the funnels in. So we're gonna have a funnel a little bit behind the first turret. We're gonna have a funnel behind that. Just two. Maybe a little bit more forward and a little bit closer together. I do want to base this very heavily off of the Renown class. So this is gonna go back kind of here. I want to see how that forward superstructure bit is built. Okay, see how this kind of goes back. So this, part of me wants to get like detail for other layers on the first layer here, but part of me thinks that's just a bad idea. We're gonna go back like this. Then we're gonna do this and wind up back here. So structure 2, I do actually kind of want to get the conning bit with this too. So oop, do like that, that, snap there, snap there, then go back, back to here, go back to here, out a little bit, back there, kind of bring them in here, 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 and here. It doesn't need to be like perfectly accurate, but you know, I want to get the general vibe of a Renown class down. That's structure 2. Actually, structure 3 I probably need lines for, because structure... Actually, no, structure 3 I'm not going to have lines for. It'll be a bit of a aft superstructure work, I think. So, and part of the issue is that normally this is where, like, the SecBat would go. All the way down to there. Across to there. Go back. Do something like that. That'll work for that layer. Okay, so now we gotta get the other stuff in. Probably more detail here. Yeah, I'm gonna get more detail on. So, 2 is layer 4. I can do that. Map here. Out that way. Down a little bit. Out, back. Normally I could combine this, but I'm thinking, you know what? No, here's what we're gonna do. I will put an additional layer over it, but I do need to get like a layer down here. And there's no extra point for me to really put that. So I can do something like that for that layer. For structure 5, I can go on top of this and just do like that there. Oh, that's not working super well. Back. Actually, let's kind of snap there and then head back. And then around the back end of the funnel, kind of do like this. Do something like that, just add a little bit more detail to that section. And then 6, I think I will use for the aft mast and crane. So the crane's kind of going to go here. Um, and that would lead into the aft mast. I will just do like a little bit of this. Snap, snap, snap. That kind of works. It's not the greatest interpretation, but you know, I'm willing to take this as how the battle cruiser will look. Could be worse. I could have drawn this worse. It's not the best drawing in the world, but I think it'll work. And we have a lot of extra weight remaining, so we can always, you know, easily get aircraft in on, you know, the inflexible class. I do. We will save it. We will start building it. And that will be good. So I will go until that is done. I will sell that to the US because tensions are low. We can get larger seaplane carriers. Now, okay, so we have a higher monthly balance. You know what? I'm gonna just wait and see. Yeah, well, I will sell stuff and piss off Russia. I'm just gonna go until Inflexible's under construction. Send a force. Eh, god damn it, we couldn't get way back. And we pissed off Japan. Mission 2 subs. Venus is overweight. Sure. And now we get TPS 1. Alright, so, it is August of 1916. We finally discovered what TPS is. Which means that Illustrious is going to be heavier and incorporating our TPS advancement. She will be the replacement for Leopard. So there you go, Inflexible and Illustrious in production. We are going to get more CLs done soon. I think next month I will have to send the remaining Phoebes in for their rebuilds, get more destroyers producing. But yeah, we got through, you know, we got through the sub production, we got through the other stuff. Leopard's almost complete. Some other stuff's almost complete. This recording has run an hour, so I think it is a good time to call it here. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for watching. This has been me, No17 Spore, with these two as Britain, no secondaries. Links to my Discord, Twitch, and Twitter are down below. Only the Discord's important of them. Yeah. I don't know what else to say. I'm disappointed that we didn't get way highway, but probably not having a lot of Navy active really hurt. But, like, seriously, way highway, can you not screw me over? I built up your base capacity. Stop it. Alright. Bye.